What if I told you that right now, in Cleveland, there's a quarterback battle happening that nobody's talking about, but it could completely reshape this franchise's future? While everyone's obsessing over Deshaun Watson's Achilles and Joe Flacco getting the Week 1 nod, there's a name that's been quietly making waves in Berea, and his story is about to blow your mind. Picture this. You're a young quarterback with all the talent in the world. You've got the bloodline, you've got the arm strength, and you just threw for 138 yards and 2 touchdowns in your NFL preseason debut. The crowd's buzzing, the analysts are taking notice, and then, boom. One practice session with the Philadelphia Eagles changes everything. An oblique injury that comes out of nowhere, sidelining you at the worst possible moment, when every rep matters and your NFL dreams hang in the balance. That's exactly what happened to Shedeur Sanders, and right now, he's living in the most fascinating quarterback limbo you've ever seen. This isn't just another backup story, folks. This is a chess game being played at the highest level, with pieces moving in ways that could define the Browns' next decade. Here's what makes this situation absolutely wild. Cleveland is seriously considering keeping 4 quarterbacks on their roster. 4. When's the last time you saw that? But when you dig deeper, it makes perfect sense. Watson's rehabbing that Achilles, Flacco's the steady veteran hand for Week 1. Dylan Gabriel has apparently impressed the coaching staff all offseason, and Kenny Pickett's been dealing with his own hamstring issues since late July. And then there's Sanders, caught right in the middle of this quarterback hurricane, fighting for a spot that might not even exist. But let me tell you why this story gets my blood pumping. During training camp, Sanders wasn't even sniffing first-team reps. The coaches made it crystal clear he wasn't in the Week 1 conversation. Most players would sulk, complain, or mentally check out. Not Sanders. This kid comes back from that oblique injury with an attitude that would make any coach's heart skip a beat. "I'm happy," he says. "I always got good energy because I'm blessed to come out here every day, regardless of situation. I know my time, whenever that is, I'll be ready for it." That right there, that's championship DNA talking. That's the kind of mentality that turns late-round picks into Pro Bowlers and practice squad guys into franchise saviors. Now here's where it gets really interesting, and this is why you need to smash that like button and subscribe to Browns Breakout, because we're about to dive into the chess match that most people are completely missing. The Browns are playing a dangerous game with Sanders. They believe in his potential enough to keep him around, but not enough to guarantee him a roster spot. They're walking a tightrope that could backfire spectacularly. Think about it. If they cut him and try to sneak him onto the practice squad, another team could swoop in and claim him instantly. Imagine watching Sanders light up the league in Pittsburgh or Baltimore uniform because Cleveland got too clever for their own good. The nightmares practically write themselves. Jason Lloyd from The Athletic raised this exact point, questioning whether keeping Sanders around is just creating unnecessary clutter, especially with Cleveland eyeing a quarterback in next year's first round. But here's what Lloyd and others might be missing. Sometimes the best draft pick is the one you don't have to make because the talent was already sitting right under your nose. Remember, this is the same franchise that's been searching for quarterback stability for decades. They've cycled through more signal callers than a short-order diner cycles through coffee. And now, they might have a diamond in the rough, a player with legitimate NFL bloodlines and the work ethic to match, and they're debating whether to keep him around? The timing couldn't be more perfect or more terrifying, depending on how you look at it. Watson's $230 million contract is the foundation everything else is built on, but foundations can crack. Having a young, hungry quarterback learning the system, studying film with veterans like Flacco, and getting coached up by Kevin Stefanski? That's insurance you can't put a price on. But here's the kicker, and this is what's keeping me up at night thinking about this situation. Sanders is running out of time, and he knows it. The NFL is ruthless with young quarterbacks. You get your window, and if you don't jump through it, it slams shut. With another talented quarterback class coming in next year, Sanders needs to prove himself now, not later. The pressure is mounting with every practice rep, every preseason snap, every meeting room session. He's auditioning not just for a roster spot, but for his entire NFL future. And the crazy part? He's handling it like a seasoned veteran. September 7th against Cincinnati is circled on everyone's calendar, but for Sanders, every day between now and then is a mini Super Bowl. He needs to show the coaches something they can't ignore, something that makes cutting him impossible to justify. Whether that's his arm strength, his football IQ, his leadership qualities, or just that intangible factor that separates good players from great ones. What's really fascinating about this whole situation is how it reflects the Browns' broader philosophy. They're not just building a team for this year or next year. They're thinking 3, 4, 5 years down the line. Watson's their present and immediate future, but what happens after that? What if his injury history becomes a pattern? What if age catches up faster than expected? Sanders represents the long-term thinking that championship organizations are built on. He's the insurance policy that could turn into the main event. He's the developmental project that could become the finished product. But only if Cleveland has the courage to invest in that potential instead of playing it safe with known quantities. The beautiful irony in all of this is that Sanders' biggest competition might not even be the other quarterbacks in the room. It might be the Browns' own indecision, their inability to commit fully to developing young talent versus their desire to remain competitive in the short term. But if there's one thing I've learned watching this franchise over the years, it's that their best moves often come when they trust their instincts and take calculated risks. Drafting Myles Garrett first overall, trading for Odell Beckham when he was available, signing Watson despite all the controversy. Sanders might be the next calculated risk that pays off in ways nobody saw coming. So here's my challenge to the Browns front office. Stop overthinking it. Stop playing it safe. This kid has shown you everything you need to see. The talent, the work ethic, the professionalism, the resilience. Give him the opportunity to develop, and don't let another team reap the benefits of your indecision. And to Sanders himself, if you're watching this, keep grinding. Keep believing. Keep showing up every single day like your career depends on it, because it does. Cleveland might not realize it yet, but you could be exactly what this franchise has been searching for all these years. The next few weeks are going to tell us everything we need to know about both Sanders and the Browns' commitment to building something special. This isn't just a roster battle we're watching unfold. This is potentially the beginning of the next chapter in Cleveland Browns history. And trust me, you don't want to miss how this story ends. Make sure you're subscribed because we'll be covering every twist, every turn, and every development in this quarterback saga that's about to define the future of Browns football. The season's almost here, folks, and something tells me we're in for one hell of a ride.